What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. This is Lake Pro Tackle. Today we're going over some new baits here, and I wore this shirt. It was a complete coincidence. I grabbed it out of the closet today. I was like, you know what? I feel like wearing a Yamamoto shirt, and sure enough, came into the store today, and we've got some brand new products to the store here, guys. So as soon as this video goes up, they should be up on the website, ready to go. We've got the brand new Yamamoto Yamacraws. We're super excited about these. There's a bunch of cool features that are in these plastics here that aren't in normal Yamamoto plastics. So, traditionally, the Yamamoto Senko has been a staple for many, many years, from Florida to California to Texas to upstate New York. So all around the country, the Senko is one of the most versatile lures out there. And when I think of another iconic lure, the Rage Craw has to come to mind for me. The Rage Craw, ever since they came out with a bunch of different sizes for it, it can be used many, many different ways around the country to catch bass, whether they're largemouth, smallmouth, spotted bass. You can catch bluegill, warmouth, rock bass on them. You can catch just about anything on a Rage Craw. And Yamamoto has made something that I think rivals the Rage Craw in terms of action and how it moves. And we're going to be going over some underwater footage of this bait here and kind of point out some of its key strengths and kind of what it's all about. So, before we get into this, guys, follow us on our social media, Instagram and Facebook. Subscribe here on YouTube. If you enjoy the content, guys, leave a like on our videos. Let us know that you enjoy it. And leave a comment down below. Comment your favorite bait of all time. Doesn't have to be a Yamamoto. Just comment your favorite bait of all time to catch bass. So let's go ahead and hop into all the different colors we have in these guys. We've got 6 different ones to go over here, so stay with me. All right, y'all, so up first is going to be Sight Flash. Now, Sight Flash is a super amazing color all times of the year, really. A lot of people limit themselves to throwing white, especially during the spawn. But when it comes to different times of the year, white can be very deadly. It can stand out in certain water a lot better than your traditional green pumpkins or even black and blues. So Sight Flash is one of those colors to me that you can actually use in almost all types of situations, whether it's on the back of a swim jig, whether you're still dragging it on like a Texas rig or something. White is universally just kind of a bait fish pattern. So even if you're not trying to mimic a craw, with these Yamacraws here, you can still mimic bait fish really, really well, especially little shad getting up shallow and stuff like that. During the shad spawn, these can be super deadly. But the Sight Flash here, if you don't know already and you're not familiar with Sight Flash is actually a white pearl one side, and then on the other side, it's going to be a clear plastic with a bunch of flake in it. Usually silver flake. This one's got kind of like a white and silver flake in it, it looks like. So Sight Flash is going to be number 1. And as we move through here, I'm going to talk about the different design of this Yamacraw, and we're going to go dive into that a little later in the video, guys. So let's get through the colors here. So first up, Sight Flash, guys. Next up is going to be this one here. This is going to be Plum Apple. Just another standard color. We only brought 6 colors in, but we wanted to go with your standard colors that everyone really knows and loves. So this Plum Apple color here, great for pretty clear water, great for a little stained water. I typically won't bring this out in really dirty water just because it's a translucent color. When you hold it up to the light runs through it really easily. So when you're in low light situations, this actually doesn't show up super, super well. But Plum Apple, it's got a bunch of different flake in it. It's got blue, green, I think it's got some black in it, but that right there can be super deadly, especially in the summertime when those craws start to change color. Next up is going to be one of my favorites, personal favorites here, and that is going to be the Green Pumpkin Magic. Now, Green Pumpkin Magic for me has been a staple all across the country. Doesn't matter where I am, it seems like I can get bit on Green Pumpkin Magic. I think it's just a superb color. It's got green pumpkin base with black and gold flake in it, and I absolutely love these here. I'm definitely going to pick up some of these for myself to try, either on like a Carolina rig or a Texas rig. If I get in some shallow vegetation, I'm definitely not going to hesitate and put it on a Texas rig. And I'm going to be able to flip it around heavy braid, around reed clumps and stuff like that. So next up is going to be a color they call Bug Grinder. Now this is going to be like a green pumpkin green flake. So it's green pumpkin plastic with green flake and black flake in it. So this is a pretty cool color. Bug grinder is a new color that I've never heard before. So shout out to Yamamoto for coming up with something a little new. The color's not extremely new, but I think the name is definitely worth some points there. So next up, just standard green pumpkin. I'm not gonna spend too much time on it. Green pumpkin with black flake. Not that much black flake also. It's very scarce inside the plastic. From what I can tell, usually when I see green pumpkin black flake, it's a lot more plastic, probably about double the amount of flake that's in this one here. But nonetheless, looks like a good standard color on the back of a jig, just about anything like that. Now, last color is going to be your standard black and blue flake. It's gonna be a dark black and blue plastic with really, really blue flake in it. So that guy there, let me take one out of the package just so you can see a little bit easier. So that is black and blue flake. You know, it looks like a good color. I typically don't use black and blue that much. You know, if I am fishing a little deeper, maybe I might use it a little more, but typically black and blue flake isn't my forte. I'm not a huge fan of it. I might give this one a try on the back of like a big football jig or something. And let's talk about the bait a little more here. So the bait is going to be your standard 4-inch craw. Now, I was talking about how it is very similar to the Rage craw in terms of looks, but in functionality, guys, this bait here has a lot less salt in it. You know, the claws here, you can see they fold all the way down really, really easily. So you see right there, those claws have a ton of movement on them. They're gonna flop around. Very little movement that you put on them is going to affect these here. So what's nice about this one too, it's a little bit more durable plastic, so I feel like I'm gonna be able to get some more fish out of it. And as we go underwater here, you're gonna see that this bait is very, very buoyant. It has a lot of natural action on its own. You know, the flanges on the claws actually help it move water a lot more. It's not one full flange across, it's actually 3 different flanges that help move the water as it's going through. So another cool feature about this bait, y'all, is that the hook slot going through the bait helps your hookup ratio a lot. It's gonna be able to allow that hook to not bunch up on the plastic. It's gonna allow it to go straight through and give you the best hookup ratio possible. A lot of the times you see a lot of plastics out there that have a full body that don't have this slot where the hook can move up and down, and I find that my hookup ratio goes down a ton when I'm using those types of plastics. So this one here, you can see right there. Yeah, you can see right there. I'm moving it back and forth, but that right there allows your hookup ratio to go up. It allows your plastic to kind of move out of the way of that hook point and get in the fish's mouth. So for rigging, guys, this bait is really awesome too. You see that back nub in the back there? What's great about that is as you rig this bait, you can easily just bite that down each time it gets messed up, each time you catch a fish. And I would say you have about 3 to 6 uses out of this bait in terms of fish that mess up your bait really bad. Now, I'm not saying that it will mess up your bait every fish. I am saying though that if it does mess it up, you know, on the back end, how it gets a little wonky and your bait starts to fall down, you can just flip this bait over, go on the other side, bite it off, and keep going down in that sequence there. But you know, like I said earlier, this is a very strong plastic, so I don't think you'll have too many issues with that there. It also allows you to cut down this bait in increments. So if you want like a 3-inch craw or you want like a 3.5-inch craw, you can easily cut it down. And if you want to make a jig trailer with this, guys, super easy. Just start cutting down to match exactly what your jig or your hook shank is to fit it perfectly. So let's go ahead and roll some more underwater footage here. Guys, while I do that, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna let this footage roll out and we'll see you next time. Peace out, guys.